what's going on, guys? Justin Fuller, Director of Digital Sales for TrueSpot. Today I'm out in Honolulu, Hawaii, here at AutoSource, and we're getting these guys to start tracking their keys and their vehicles with us. So they've got a unique setup. I'm currently standing on the second floor of this building that they track in. So they track here on multiple levels. They also track vehicles a couple blocks down where I'm standing at this mall. And then here at their third location, a couple blocks down, they track on multiple levels as well. It's a pretty view up here, but that's not why I'm on top of the roof right now. I'm up here because we're installing a base station. So the way the network works for TrueSpot is you're gonna have tags that live out at the location. So for the sake of this, they've got 3 locations. The main lot, which has this parking structure that goes down, across the way at Ross, where they have like multiple levels they store, and then back behind me at the mall where they store additional vehicles as well. Now, all of those tags are gonna get picked up by gateways. Those gateways are then gonna push all that data to this base station. From there, you're gonna be able to open up your phone, your desktop dashboard, your tablet, whatever device you wanna use to be able to track a key, a car, or whatever it is that you're tracking and see exactly where it's at. All right, guys, so let's talk about the standard tags that these guys are using to track not only their keys, but also their vehicles. So when it comes to keys, these guys are using a key track machine. So what we've done is we've connected up one of our triangle key tags to their key track piece, right? So the cool thing about this is once these two are programmed together, they will stay. So when I sell this car and I cut these keys off and connect the next one up to it, this will already be paired together. So long as you have this on it, you'll be able to see where these set of keys are anywhere on their main campus, at this particular spillover lot, right? This parking garage I'm in, or the other one that they have, right? So that's keys. Now, when it comes to vehicles, they're gonna be using my standard tracking tag, right? So all I've got to do is take this tag, throw it around the rearview mirror, and now I'm gonna be able to track exactly where this vehicle is. Now, how we're able to do this is on the back of each tag, there's gonna be a QR code that allows you to connect up this specific tag or this car tag to this specific stock number or VIN. All right, guys, so let's talk about running a search, right? So I'm gonna show you from the app first. So I'm gonna go to find a key, find a car right here. For the sake of this, you can type in a stock number, a VIN. I'm gonna do just the last 4 of one. So I'm gonna go with 7866. That's the last 4 of the VIN. And then I can look on here and go, oh, okay, it's that second one down, that 2014 Chevy Equinox. So I'm gonna go ahead and select it. When I do, it's initially gonna show me where the vehicle's at. So this vehicle is located in Ross parking. So you can see that written on the location above the map. And then specifically 5B, which is level 5 on the north side. So I can zoom out here and see what part of the parking garage it's in. I know it's on level 5B, right? And I know which parking garage it's in. So that's finding the vehicle, very easy to do. Finding the key, jump over here. It's gonna show me it's inside of a building, and then I can see, oh, it's on floor 1, the sales floor, actually in their key track machine as we speak. So if I'm trying to show this vehicle, keys in the key machine, and I know that the vehicle is over at the Ross parking garage on level 5 on the north side. Makes it very easy to find a key and find a car. All right, guys, so the second part to this is how do I connect up specific tags to stock numbers and VINs? So I wanna walk you through that. So if you're a key track user, you can do all of this from the key machine, right? I can pair up this, I can pair up my car tag and do that all from right there. However, if you're not, you wanna do it from your phone or your desktop, no big deal. All you gotta do is go to True Tag Management, that second button down. From there, I'd go find the vehicle that I wanna connect up, right? So for the sake of this, I'm just gonna pretend it's this top vehicle. I go to tag key. From there, I can either type in the numbers and letters on the back of that tag, or there's a little QR deal I can open and I can scan that tag. So at that point, I would then scan the tag that I want to add and add it. So this is a dead tag. It's not going to connect up. Thank goodness, because I don't want to add anything to theirs. But all I would do is do that, and then I'd come over and do the car tag as well, because on the back of the car tag, QR code it also. So AutoSource is taking advantage of KeyTrack's new integration with TrueSpot, which means if you try to check out a key and it's already checked out, it'll show you where that key is located and where the vehicle is located, and of course, who checked out the key and when. Secondarily though, if you do check out a key, right after you do it, it'll pull up a map and show you where that vehicle is that you're looking for. All right, guys, so here we are on the desktop dashboard, and that's lm360.truespot.com. So initially you can see that network that I was describing earlier in the video, where at the bottom I have the mall parking. Right in the center, I've got their main structure with their parking garage. And then up top here, I've got the additional parking garage that they use to store vehicles as well on multiple levels, right? So I can understand what the campuses look like. Now, what's really good about the desktop dashboard is being able to digest additional information at once. And what I mean by that is I have the ability to search out multiple vehicles at once, right? So if I wanted to come over here, there's all these filters on the left side. I'm going to use these. I'm going to scroll down here and pick something. So I'm gonna pick Teslas, right? So I've picked Teslas, and now I can see that I have 39 Teslas, right, that are currently living in their feed, right? So when I'm looking at this, I can see the ones that are tagged because I can see all this tagging info. And then I can also see the ones that aren't tagged, right? Because I'm pulling all that info from the inventory feed. So if I'm trying to grasp and understand, hey, which Teslas do I want to go tag, or do I need to tag? Well, here's a short list that I can create, and I can export this list. But what becomes really helpful about this is if I want to search out one of these vehicles. So for the sake of this, let's grab a random one and talk about it, right? So I'm going to grab this guy right here. So on here, it's going to show me, of course, where the vehicle's at and tell me. So the vehicle is currently on the second floor, in the main building, right? So I know it's parked in their showroom on the floor. They keep most of their high-end vehicles there for safety, right? And then the key I can see is currently living in the KeyTrack system. So I can see it in the building on the map, and then it tells me over to the left, hey, it's in the KeyTrack. So if I'm trying to show this vehicle, I already know where the key is at. I could grab it and I could walk the customer up to the second floor, and we could look at that vehicle. Or I could work on pulling it out so they could take it for a test drive. So this becomes very helpful. But what I like about this is if I turn the map back on, I can turn on the pins and see the locations of all of these, right? Of all of the vehicles. So I know that most of them are living here, but I can see that I have 5 Teslas living over mall parking. Now, if I'm concerned about theft and I would keep those higher end cars in my main building for security, I can click on this geofence and it'll show me all 5 that are currently living over there. So that way, if I wanted to grab some staff members, get those 5, drive them over and park them in the main building or park them closer to the main building, I absolutely could. So starting to use this from an inventory standpoint makes a lot of sense, and it's way more efficient. If you're a sales manager and you want to make sure all the keys make it back into the main building at the end of the night, into their KeyTrack machine for these particular guys, or onto your pegboard or wherever your keys live, I can simply turn on the keys pins and see where every single key is that has a tag on it. So for the sake of this, right now I can see that they have 9 sets of keys over at the mall, right? If I scroll up here, I can hover over this and still tell me they have 5. And if I want to know which 5, it'll present me with that list if I click into that geofenced area. So these are the 5 sets of keys that are over there. And then I can come down here and I can click on the mall. These are the 9 sets of keys that are living in the mall right now. Now, I talked about closing duties, but let's talk about opening duties. What's really cool here is if I scroll across the top here, there's a bar with several different categories in it. I can go to last sightings and I can view this, right? So I'm hovering over it right now for inventory and keys. Where this becomes powerful is if something leaves the campus, right? Any of these 3 and hasn't come back, it starts a timer on that specific stock number VIN, and that way you can keep track of what's been gone off the campus for extended periods of time. So for the sake of this, if I said, hey, I want to know anything that's been gone for more than 72 hours, I can click on that and it then presents me a list with all the vehicles that have been gone. And not only does it do that, but it also tells me the last place they were seen. So this very top one, this 2008 Honda Odyssey, it was last seen in the Ross parking garage. So it left the parking garage at 6/15/2024 at 12:46 a.m., right? So they may know the reason for this, or they may have dropped in a note. There is a note section that they could connect that to. But if not, then they can potentially look at this car and go, hey, did something happen to this car? Is there theft, or did we loan it out and we need the BVA paperwork? We don't have that, like the guys didn't fill it out or something of that nature. So understand that you can always get this info. And if I want it for shorter, I can go for 24 hours, right? And view all 13 vehicles right here. And then I can cross-check this against maybe my loaner paper, right? Now, not only can you view this at any point, but you can also set up employees to get notifications on it. So if I go to the back office, I can select someone. So let's go with Timothy for the sake here. I could come down here and go to missing vehicle alerts. If I turn this tab on, now each morning at 7 a.m., he'll get an email with any vehicles that have been missing for more than 24 hours. So very helpful. That way your sales managers who open in the mornings can typically check on things like this. Now, if you ever want to do any kind of audit, right? So understanding what vehicles are at your campus or where at your campus or multiple campuses, this can be very helpful. For these guys, absolutely. So right now you can see location of inventory. I'm hovering kind of over that right now. I can see what vehicles are located in any geofence right now, right? So I can see Ross parking, I can see the first floor service bays, second floor, so forth and so on. Now that may be a little bit granular for what you want, right? And I can do that same thing for keys to the right of that, right? So another box. But if I scroll over a little bit further, maybe I just want to understand what vehicles are at the Ross parking garage right now. Well, perfect. I can see that there's 96 vehicles there. And then if I turn the map off, here's my list of all 96 of those vehicles, right? So very helpful if you're trying to understand what's at a spillover campus or what's at your recon center, right? Or what's in your detail area or whatever the case may be. Now, if they want to know how many vehicles are at the main dealership right now, well, at the main dealership, they've got 229 vehicles. And here's the list of all 229.
If they want to know which vehicles are at the mall parking, right? There's 199 vehicles over there, and here's all 199 vehicles. So lastly, I just want to show you a really cool trick you can use if you have a parking structure and you're using TrueSpot. So for the sake of this, I'm going to come over here to the Ross building, right? So they track on multiple levels here. If I click on this, right, now I'm looking at all 96 vehicles that are at the Ross building. But on top of that, of course, I have this list, and know that any of the lists you ever make, you can export. There's an export button over at the far right that you can create an Excel sheet file, right? But on top of that, I can sort these vehicles. So if I hit vehicle location up here at the top, it'll sort them by the location. So if I want to know every single vehicle that's currently sitting on level 5 of the parking garage, well, I just sorted it, and now I can see all of these vehicles that are on level 5, right? 5B all the way until it stops right here and starts at 6A. So if I'm trying to keep track of what's on which level or how many vehicles I have on the levels of my parking garage to have a better understanding, well, I can create that list and look at it right here, right? You can sort. So understand I can sort this out and look at all the vehicles on level 5, level 6, 7, 8, 8B, so forth and so on. So anything that you're seeing in a list is sortable, right? So I just want you to understand that, whether you're sorting by days in inventory, and I want to look at my oldest age units maybe that are in the parking garage, or maybe I want to sort by year, make, and model, right? I want to sort by my newest vehicles as far as years, right? Or oldest vehicles, whatever the case may be. Understand that these are sortable, usable lists that you can take advantage of. But for parking garages, I find this super helpful to be able to understand, hey, show me every vehicle on which level, so that I can kind of audit and understand. All right, guys, so I appreciate you tuning in to learn a little bit more about the setup that AutoSource is running out there in Honolulu, Hawaii. If you'd like to learn a little bit more, you have questions, you have concerns, or you want to understand pricing or a little bit more about the technology, feel free to give me a call, text, or email. All of my info will be up at the end of this video and, of course, in the description of the video as well. I would love to talk to you about your store and understand that I have different solutions, whether it's you want to track through service, and I've got hang tags and key tags for that. You want to look at tracking maybe at a collision center. We have a setup for that. Or maybe you're looking at doing something through your recon process, right? I want to know where those keys are and those cars are as they float around through that process. And then maybe I want to have the ability to understand how long they've spent in certain areas. I have reporting that goes along with a lot of this as well that we can talk about to help out your store. So give me a call, text, email. Let's talk about your store and get something set up. Later, guys!